Every like, every comment, and every subscriber gives me motivation daily to bringing you guys the best MMA content on YouTube. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trippy Speaks UFC. We are the best MMA platform on YouTube, and we are the champions of the MMA content creation world. The rest are just goddamn contenders. And as you guys know, it is a lovely fight week this week. We have a big one coming our way, Israel Adesanya versus Marvin Vettori. And this will be the only breakdown and prediction video you'll need to watch because, you know, we are the best predictors in the world over here. So I've been watching film on both of these guys. I've been breaking down everything that these guys do in the octagon, watching countless fight after fight on my ESPN Plus app, literally setting my iPhone on fire. It's been overheating so much because I've been watching so much ESPN Plus, man. And just because I wanted to give you guys the best accurate prediction for this fight. So after watching all of their fights and pretty much doing my research on both of these fighters, I've came to a conclusion. The big reasons why Israel Adesanya is going to beat Marvin Vettori lies in Marvin Vettori. I kid you not. So, looking at both of these guys and looking at the paths that they've taken, Israel Adesanya has blossomed to a new height in the sport of the UFC. As you guys all know, Israel Adesanya went on after Marvin Vettori to get dominant win, impressive win after impressive win. Marvin Vettori took a slower route, but was still pretty dominant, if you ask me, in his run up to the title shot now. But you know, like I said in the past about these guys, in my last video about these two, is that these guys are the same fighters that they were. It's just that they are upgraded versions of themselves. Remember, I brought up the iPhone analogy. These guys are just upgraded versions of themselves. They haven't changed their style completely in any drastic way or anything like that. Marvin Vettori has gotten a bit better with his wrestling, you know, and he's always been this intense, nasty, gritty fighter that he is in there. Always been durable, always been freaking tough, man. And Israel Adesanya has been a smooth operator literally all across the board. He does everything smooth, and his striking and his counter ability is something only challenged by the greats of like Anderson Silva. I mean, the guy is literally a world-class striker through and through. And so, like I said, upgraded versions of themselves, but I think what really lies in this fight is that Marvin Vettori cannot get over that loss that he suffered to Israel Adesanya. I mean, it haunts him. This guy must lay awake at night thinking about that freaking loss. He keeps saying, I won that fight. I won that fight. So whenever I watched it back, I watched that fight back. And so it was extremely close. Extremely close. Like, no joke. That first round was really what determined it all, because Adesanya dominated the second round. Marvin Vettori won the third round. I wouldn't say he dominated it because he couldn't really get a lot of damage off. And just remember that I said that. Remember that I said that because that's going to play in a little bit later down the road in this video. But like I said, Adesanya won that first round by a hair. Literally a hair. So I would say if you tally up all of it, I would say I'd have it 29.5 Adesanya. I mean, he barely won. But the truth is that Marvin Vettori can't let it go. He can't accept that Israel Adesanya did outwork him, did outscore him, and just beat him. He beat him. Though it was barely, and though he barely won, he beat him. And this is what really halts a fighter's progression, man. It's that you can't look. Marvin Vettori talks about the loss to Adesanya like as if he hasn't taken anything away from it. Like he didn't make any mistakes in that fight. Like it's just the judges screwed him and he's better than Adesanya. And I guarantee you this, it is going to come back and bite him in the butt. And so my second point and my second reason on why Adesanya is going to beat Marvin Vettori again is the fact that both guys have blossomed. Both guys have upgraded. But Israel Adesanya has made more improvements and more folds in his game than Marvin Vettori has. He has gained more knowledge in the sport. He has been tested more, if you ask me. He has seen more. It's just Israel Adesanya has made more improvements than Marvin Vettori did since their last fight. Let me ask you guys this. What does Marvin do way differently than what he did when they first matched up? What does he do? Exactly. What can you say? I can say that he's become a better takedown artist, but the dude literally almost fights the exact same. He still gets himself in trouble when he gets pissed off in the fight when things aren't going his way and tries to rely on grit and tries to... The Kevin Holland fight was literally the first time I saw this guy fight to where he relied solely on the game plan and kept his head in the fight the entire time and not just try to go out there and prove a point. No joke. This guy's ego is going to be his worst freaking enemy. Israel Adesanya also, let me mention this, has fought Jan Blachowicz. So I know what you guys are going to say. What has Izzy developed better than what has Marvin developed? And like I just said, Israel Adesanya, I can name off a list of things that Adesanya has improved on. But there's only one that's going to matter in this fight. Two, actually. His fight IQ and his takedown defense. Adesanya has some of the best takedown defense in the game. And I'm going to tell y'all this. Israel Adesanya just suffered his first loss to Jan Blachowicz. Jan Blachowicz is a way more seasoned fighter and is simply just a way better fighter than Marvin Vettori is. Israel Adesanya lost that fight, and it wasn't a dominating fight because some of you Izzy haters just won't accept the fact that Jan didn't dominate him. Matter of fact, I knew a ton of people that thought Izzy won based off watching it the first time on pay-per-view. So, that is going to light a fire under Izzy to know where he needs to improve, and that is getting controlled on the bottom and getting taken down. This is only going to help his takedown defense even more. So that is going to force Marvin to have to strike with him and rely on that grit. And I guarantee you this, by the third round, if things aren't going Marvin's way, he's going to start fighting like an egomaniac. Not saying he's going to go out there and slug it out, but he's going to go and try and force things, which is what he always does. When he gets pissed off, he tries to force the fight to go in the direction that he wants it. He lacks basic head movement coming in, and we already know Israel Adesanya is probably the best counter striker in the game. I'm not even joking. Only challenged by Conor McGregor. He is the best counter striker in the freaking game. So I'm going to just say this, like I said in my past video. If Marvin cannot get Izzy to the ground, if he cannot clinch up Izzy, it is going to be a rough and tough night for him because he's going to get picked apart, he's going to get countered, and he's going to get jabbed from a distance. Mark my words, he is going to eat kicks and eat jabs and eat counters all night long if he cannot get this to the ground. Because on the feet, they are just not the same level, and that is just facts. And then, on top of that, to put the nail in the freaking coffin. So the fight will be competitive early. The fight will be competitive for as long as Marvin Vettori can last. But this is my last point. Marvin Vettori slows down and gasses out as the fight goes on because he sets a pace that his own body can't keep up with. Those muscles and that size needs oxygen to keep up with. So, like I said, this is what is going to happen. Marvin Vettori's only shot to win this fight is to submit Israel Adesanya, and that's just the truth. Is that he needs to get Adesanya to the ground and either control him with the wrestling, control him from the bottom, or submit him and get him out of there. That is his only way. Because I can absolutely see a scenario where he submits Israel Adesanya. But I can't really factor in an equation where Marvin Vettori mixes up the wrestling with the striking and cannot stop Adesanya from getting back up to his feet and picking him. I just can't see that. I just can't see where he dominates Izzy with the wrestling and ragdolling him all over the place. It's just so hard for me to see that due to the fact that I've seen Izzy do it to Marvin before, and that Israel Adesanya has developed some of the best takedown defense in the game. And then on top of that, fighting a guy like Jan Blachowicz, which really taught him a lot. This is something that we do know. He's not going to be undersized. He's not going to be outmatched in the size department. He's not going to be outmatched in the technique or speed like how he was with Jan Blachowicz. This is a totally different fight. He is the king of the middleweight division. The middleweight division is his home. So, I got Adesanya winning comfortably, you guys. So, with that being said, it's been your boy Trippy. I want to know what you guys think. Leave me a comment down below. And I'm out, man.